Chapter 4: Leadership and Motivation. Part 4: Leadership in Practice: Applying Leadership for Organizational Success, by Mary Lourdes Bonnici MBA. Introduction: Leadership is most valuable when it is translated into action. While leadership theories and motivational models provide the foundation for understanding how organizations function, true leadership is demonstrated through daily decision-making, ethical behavior, effective communication, and the ability to inspire people to achieve common goals. Organizations do not succeed because leaders simply understand theory. They succeed because leaders apply that knowledge consistently in real workplace situations. Modern organizations operate in an environment characterized by rapid technological advancement, artificial intelligence, economic uncertainty, global competition, workforce diversity, and increasing customer expectations. These changes require leaders who are adaptable, emotionally intelligent, innovative, and committed to continuous improvement. Effective leadership is therefore no longer optional. It has become one of the most important competitive advantages any organization can possess. This chapter explores how leadership principles are applied in practice, demonstrating how successful leaders create positive organizational cultures, motivate employees, manage change, encourage innovation, and achieve sustainable organizational success. Emotional intelligence in leadership. One of the defining characteristics of effective leadership is emotional intelligence. Technical knowledge and professional qualifications are essential. However, leaders who possess emotional intelligence are often more successful because they understand both themselves and the people they lead. Emotional intelligence refers to the ability to recognize, understand, regulate, and appropriately manage emotions, while also recognizing the emotions of others. Leaders with high emotional intelligence remain calm during challenging situations, demonstrate empathy, communicate effectively, and build strong professional relationships based on trust and mutual respect. Daniel Goleman identified 5 major components of emotional intelligence: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. These competencies enable leaders to resolve conflict professionally, encourage collaboration, improve communication, and create psychologically safe workplaces where employees feel comfortable expressing ideas and concerns. Modern organizations increasingly recognize emotional intelligence as equally important as technical competence when selecting future leaders. Communication and leadership. Communication is one of the most important responsibilities of every leader. Every organizational objective, strategic decision, policy, and operational process depends upon effective communication. Successful leaders communicate a clear vision, explain organizational objectives, provide constructive feedback, encourage employee participation, and listen actively to different viewpoints. They understand that communication is a two-way process rather than simply giving instructions. Poor communication often results in confusion, conflict, reduced employee morale, lower productivity, and resistance to organizational change. Conversely, transparent communication builds trust, improves teamwork, strengthens organizational culture, and increases employee engagement. Leaders who communicate honestly and consistently create workplaces where employees understand organizational expectations and remain committed to achieving shared objectives. Teamwork and collaboration. Modern organizations rely increasingly on teamwork rather than individual performance alone. Teams combine diverse knowledge, experiences, perspectives, and expertise to solve problems more effectively and generate innovative solutions. Effective leaders recognize that successful teams require more than technical competence. They create environments characterized by trust, collaboration, accountability, respect, and open communication. Leaders encourage teamwork by recognizing individual contributions, resolving conflicts fairly, promoting diversity, and ensuring that every employee feels valued. Employees working within collaborative teams generally demonstrate higher motivation, stronger commitment, improved creativity, and greater organizational loyalty. High-performing organizations therefore invest heavily in developing collaborative leadership practices that strengthen both individual performance and collective organizational success. Organizational culture and leadership. Organizational culture represents the shared values, beliefs, attitudes, behaviors, and traditions that influence how employees interact within an organization. Culture affects decision-making, communication, teamwork, customer service, innovation, and overall organizational performance. While organizational policies establish expectations, organizational culture determines how those expectations are implemented in everyday practice. Leaders are the primary architects of organizational culture. Their behaviors, attitudes, and decisions influence the standards employees adopt throughout the organization. Leaders who demonstrate integrity, professionalism, accountability, and respect encourage employees to adopt similar behaviors. Conversely, leaders who tolerate unethical behavior, poor communication, or inconsistency may unintentionally create negative workplace cultures. Positive organizational cultures encourage collaboration, innovation, continuous learning, diversity, inclusion, employee well-being, and customer satisfaction. Employees working within positive cultures generally demonstrate greater organizational commitment, stronger motivation, lower absenteeism, and higher productivity. Negative organizational cultures often result in poor morale, conflict, high staff turnover, reduced motivation, ineffective communication, and declining organizational performance. Consequently, leaders must actively cultivate cultures that promote trust, respect, fairness, and continuous improvement. Ethical leadership. Ethics are fundamental to effective leadership because organizational success should never be achieved at the expense of honesty, integrity, or professional responsibility. Ethical leaders make decisions that are fair, transparent, accountable, and consistent with organizational values and legal requirements. Ethical leadership extends beyond simply following rules. It requires leaders to consider the impact of their decisions on employees, customers, patients, stakeholders, and society. Leaders must demonstrate impartiality, confidentiality, respect, equality, and social responsibility while promoting a workplace built upon trust and professionalism. Organizations led by ethical leaders generally experience stronger employee loyalty, improved public confidence, enhanced organizational reputation, and greater long-term sustainability. Employees are more likely to remain motivated when they believe organizational decisions are made fairly and consistently. Ethical leadership is particularly important within healthcare, education, financial services, and public administration, where organizational decisions frequently have significant consequences for individuals and communities. Leadership in healthcare and business. Although leadership principles remain consistent across industries, their application varies according to organizational objectives and professional environments. Within healthcare organizations, leaders must balance clinical excellence, patient safety, regulatory compliance, financial responsibility, technological innovation, and workforce well-being. Decisions frequently involve complex ethical considerations while maintaining high standards of patient-centered care. Healthcare leaders encourage multidisciplinary collaboration among doctors, nurses, allied health professionals, administrators, and support staff. Effective communication, evidence-based practice, continuous education, and quality improvement initiatives all contribute to improved patient outcomes. Within business organizations, leaders focus on achieving strategic objectives, improving competitiveness, increasing productivity, developing employees, encouraging innovation, and creating customer value. Although operational priorities differ from healthcare, the underlying leadership competencies remain remarkably similar. In both sectors, successful leaders demonstrate integrity, adaptability, emotional intelligence, communication skills, strategic thinking, and commitment to continuous improvement. Leadership during organizational change is inevitable within every organization. New technologies, economic conditions, customer expectations, government regulations, artificial intelligence, and global competition require organizations to evolve continuously. Unfortunately, organizational change often generates uncertainty, anxiety, and resistance among employees. Effective leaders recognize these emotional responses and manage change through communication, participation, education, and support. Successful change management begins with a clear explanation of why change is necessary. Employees who understand the purpose behind organizational change are generally more willing to participate actively in implementation. Leaders should involve employees whenever possible, provide appropriate training, encourage feedback, recognize achievements, and celebrate successful implementation. These actions strengthen employee confidence while reducing resistance to change. Organizations that successfully manage change develop greater resilience, innovation, competitiveness, and long-term sustainability. Leadership in the age of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence has transformed organizational decision-making, communication, customer service, workforce planning, healthcare, education, finance, manufacturing, and countless other industries. Although artificial intelligence improves efficiency and supports data-driven decision-making, it cannot replace essential human leadership qualities such as empathy, ethical judgment, emotional intelligence, creativity, compassion, and interpersonal communication. Future leaders must understand how to integrate technological innovation while preserving the human relationships that remain fundamental to organizational success. Artificial intelligence should therefore be viewed as a powerful leadership tool rather than a replacement for leadership itself. Leaders who embrace digital transformation while maintaining strong ethical standards and employee well-being will be better positioned to lead successful organizations throughout the future. Developing future leaders. One of the greatest responsibilities of every leader is developing the next generation of leaders. Outstanding leaders recognize that organizational success depends not only upon their own performance, but also upon preparing future leaders to continue organizational growth. Leadership development occurs through mentoring, coaching, delegation, professional education, continuous learning, constructive feedback, and practical experience. Employees should be encouraged to develop critical thinking, communication skills, emotional intelligence, strategic decision-making, and ethical judgment throughout their careers. Organizations that invest in leadership development experience stronger succession planning, improved employee retention, greater innovation, and increased organizational resilience. Leadership, therefore, represents a continuous journey rather than a final destination. Even experienced leaders continue learning, adapting, and improving throughout their professional lives. Benefits of effective leadership. Effective leadership generates significant benefits for both employees and organizations. Employees experience greater motivation, stronger job satisfaction, increased confidence, improved teamwork, enhanced professional development, and higher organizational commitment. Organizations benefit through improved productivity, stronger innovation, better decision-making, increased customer satisfaction, lower staff turnover, enhanced organizational reputation, improved financial performance, and sustainable long-term growth. These outcomes demonstrate why leadership development remains one of the most valuable organizational investments. Challenges facing modern leaders. Despite its benefits, leadership also presents significant challenges. Rapid technological advancement requires continuous learning and adaptation. Managing diverse workforces demands cultural awareness, inclusion, and effective communication. Remote and hybrid working arrangements require leaders to maintain employee engagement despite physical separation. Increasing employee expectations regarding well-being, flexibility, career development, and work-life balance require more supportive leadership approaches. Economic uncertainty, global competition, cybersecurity, and artificial intelligence continue transforming organizational environments at unprecedented speed. Modern leaders must therefore remain adaptable, resilient, innovative, ethical, emotionally intelligent, and committed to lifelong learning. Best practices for effective leadership. Successful leaders establish clear organizational visions while communicating those visions consistently throughout the organization. They lead by example, demonstrating professionalism, honesty, integrity, accountability, and respect in every interaction. They invest continuously in employee development through coaching, mentoring, education, and constructive feedback. They encourage innovation by creating psychologically safe workplaces where employees feel comfortable sharing ideas and challenging existing practices. Finally, they recognize that people remain the organization's greatest asset and therefore place employee well-being alongside organizational performance. These practices enable leaders to build resilient organizations capable of achieving sustainable excellence within increasingly complex global environments. Practical applications of leadership theories become meaningful only when they are applied in real organizational settings. Every day, leaders make decisions that influence employee performance, customer satisfaction, organizational culture, financial performance, and long-term sustainability. Successful leaders understand that every interaction represents an opportunity to demonstrate effective leadership. One practical application of leadership can be observed during the introduction of new technology. Imagine that a company decides to implement a new digital management system. Employees may initially feel uncertain or even resistant because they fear making mistakes or losing familiar working methods. An effective leader recognizes these concerns and responds by communicating the reasons for the change, providing appropriate training, encouraging employees to ask questions, and offering continuous support throughout implementation. Rather than forcing change through authority alone, the leader motivates employees by demonstrating the long-term benefits of the new system. As employee confidence increases, productivity improves and resistance gradually disappears. Another example involves conflict management. Disagreements between colleagues are inevitable in every organization. A skilled leader listens carefully to all parties, remains impartial, identifies the underlying causes of conflict, and encourages respectful discussion. Instead of assigning blame, the leader focuses on finding solutions that strengthen teamwork and improve future collaboration. Leadership also becomes highly visible during organizational crises, whether responding to financial challenges, operational disruptions, public health emergencies, or unexpected organizational changes. Employees naturally look towards their leaders for reassurance and direction. Calm, transparent, and confident leadership helps reduce uncertainty while maintaining employee morale and organizational stability. Real-world example, a large organization experienced declining employee engagement, increasing absenteeism, and poor communication between departments. Staff surveys revealed that employees felt disconnected from senior management and believed their contributions were rarely recognized. A newly appointed leader introduced regular communication meetings, employee recognition programs, leadership development workshops, and opportunities for staff to participate in organizational decision-making. Within 1 year, employee engagement increased significantly. Staff turnover declined, communication improved, collaboration strengthened, and customer satisfaction scores rose considerably. Productivity also increased because employees felt respected, valued, and motivated to contribute towards organizational success. This example demonstrates that effective leadership influences far more than individual performance. It shapes organizational culture, employee well-being, operational effectiveness, and long-term organizational sustainability. Benefits of effective leadership. Effective leadership creates numerous benefits for both individuals and organizations. Employees experience greater motivation, stronger organizational commitment, increased confidence, improved communication, higher job satisfaction, enhanced teamwork, and greater opportunities for professional development. Organizations benefit through improved productivity, better decision-making, stronger innovation, reduced absenteeism, lower staff turnover, improved customer satisfaction, enhanced organizational reputation, and sustainable competitive advantage. Leaders who inspire employees to perform beyond expectations contribute directly to organizational resilience and long-term growth. Challenges facing modern leaders despite its many benefits. Leadership also presents considerable challenges. Today's leaders operate within environments characterized by continuous change, technological innovation, economic uncertainty, increasing customer expectations, and diverse workforces. Artificial intelligence, digital transformation, hybrid working arrangements, cybersecurity, sustainability, and global competition require leaders to remain adaptable while maintaining strong ethical standards and effective communication. Modern leaders must also support employee well-being, encourage work-life balance, promote diversity and inclusion, and create psychologically safe workplaces where employees feel comfortable expressing ideas and concerns. These challenges require continuous learning, emotional intelligence, resilience, strategic thinking, and the willingness to embrace innovation without losing sight of the human aspects of leadership. Best practices for effective leadership. Successful leaders establish a clear organizational vision that employees understand and support. They communicate openly, listen actively, and encourage collaboration across all organizational levels. They demonstrate integrity by acting honestly and consistently, creating trust throughout the organization. They recognize employee achievements, invest in professional development, and encourage continuous learning through mentoring, coaching, and education. They lead by example, understanding that employees are more likely to follow behaviors they observe rather than simply instructions they receive. Finally, they recognize that leadership is not about personal authority, but about serving others, developing future leaders, and creating environments where people can achieve their full potential. Key learning points. Leadership is the ability to influence, inspire, and guide individuals towards achieving organizational objectives. Leadership and management are complementary functions that together contribute to organizational effectiveness. Effective leaders adapt their leadership style according to organizational circumstances, employee needs, and strategic priorities. Motivation remains one of the most important drivers of employee performance, organizational commitment, and workplace satisfaction. Emotional intelligence, communication, teamwork, organizational culture, ethics, and continuous professional development represent essential leadership competencies. Leadership is demonstrated through daily actions, ethical decision-making, effective communication, and a genuine commitment to supporting people. Outstanding organizations are built by leaders who inspire trust, encourage innovation, and develop future leaders. Leadership is not a destination, but a continuous journey of learning, growth, and service to others. Case study: leading organizational change through effective leadership. A medium-sized healthcare organization introduced a new electronic patient management system to improve efficiency, reduce paperwork, and enhance patient care. Although the new technology offered significant advantages, many employees were reluctant to embrace the change. Some feared that they would not be able to use the new system effectively, while others believed it would increase their workload. The department manager recognized that resistance to change was not caused by unwillingness to work, but by uncertainty and lack of confidence. Instead of imposing the change without consultation, the manager organized information sessions, provided practical training, encouraged employees to ask questions, and appointed experienced staff members to mentor colleagues during implementation. Regular meetings allowed employees to express concerns while management provided continuous support and recognized staff members who demonstrated commitment throughout the transition. Within several months, employee confidence increased considerably. The new system was successfully implemented, communication improved, administrative errors decreased, and patient satisfaction increased. Staff members also reported feeling more involved in organizational decision-making and appreciated the supportive leadership approach adopted during the change process. This case study demonstrates that successful organizational change depends not only on technology, but also on effective leadership, communication, motivation, and employee engagement. Assignment questions and answers. Part 4. Leadership in Practice. Question 1. Explain the importance of emotional intelligence in leadership and discuss how emotionally intelligent leaders improve organizational performance. Answer. Emotional intelligence enables leaders to recognize, understand, and manage their own emotions while responding effectively to the emotions of others. Emotionally intelligent leaders communicate clearly, demonstrate empathy, resolve conflicts professionally, and build trust within their teams. As a result, employee morale, teamwork, motivation, and productivity improve, contributing to stronger organizational performance. Question 2. Discuss the role of communication in effective leadership and explain why communication is essential during organizational change. Answer. Communication allows leaders to explain organizational goals, provide direction, encourage collaboration, and resolve misunderstandings. During organizational change, effective communication reduces uncertainty, builds trust, and helps employees understand the reasons for change. Leaders who communicate openly encourage employee participation and minimize resistance to new initiatives. Question 3. Evaluate the importance of teamwork and collaboration in achieving organizational success. Answer. Teamwork combines the knowledge, skills, and experience of different individuals to achieve common goals. Collaboration improves problem solving, encourages innovation, strengthens communication, and increases productivity. Organizations with effective teamwork are better able to adapt to change and consistently deliver high-quality results. Question 4. Explain how organizational culture influences employee motivation and organizational performance. Answer. Organizational culture shapes employee behavior, attitudes, and workplace relationships. A positive culture encourages respect, trust, collaboration, innovation, and continuous learning. Employees working in supportive environments are generally more motivated, committed, and productive, resulting in improved organizational performance and customer satisfaction. Question 5. Discuss the characteristics of ethical leadership and explain why ethical behavior is essential for modern organizations. Answer. Ethical leaders demonstrate honesty, integrity, fairness, transparency, accountability, and respect. They make decisions that are consistent with organizational values and legal responsibilities. Ethical leadership strengthens employee trust, protects organizational reputation, improves stakeholder confidence, and supports sustainable long-term success. Question 6. Analyze the role of leadership within healthcare organizations or another industry of your choice. Answer. Within healthcare, leaders are responsible for ensuring patient safety, service quality, regulatory compliance, effective communication, and staff well-being. They coordinate multidisciplinary teams, manage resources efficiently, and promote continuous improvement. Strong leadership improves patient outcomes, employee satisfaction, and organizational performance. Question 7. Discuss the leadership challenges created by artificial intelligence, technological innovation, and digital transformation. Answer. Modern leaders must adapt to rapidly changing technologies while supporting employees through continuous learning and organizational change. Artificial intelligence improves efficiency but cannot replace human qualities such as empathy, ethical judgment, communication, and strategic thinking. Successful leaders combine technological innovation with strong people management skills. Question 8. Explain the benefits of leadership development for both employees and organizations. Answer. Leadership development improves communication, confidence, decision-making, emotional intelligence, and strategic thinking. Employees become more engaged and prepared for future leadership roles, while organizations benefit from improved succession planning, stronger innovation, increased productivity, higher employee retention, and long-term organizational success. Question 9. Using practical examples, describe how effective leaders successfully manage organizational change. Answer. When introducing a new digital system, an effective leader explains why the change is necessary, provides staff training, encourages questions, listens to employee concerns, and offers ongoing support. By involving employees throughout the process, resistance decreases, confidence increases, and the implementation is more successful. Question 10. In your opinion, Which leadership style is most appropriate within today's business environment? Justify your answer using leadership theories discussed throughout this chapter. Answer. Transformational leadership is widely considered the most effective leadership style in today's business environment because it inspires employees, encourages innovation, supports continuous learning, and builds strong organizational commitment. However, effective leaders recognize that no single leadership style suits every situation. Successful managers adapt their approach by combining transformational, democratic, coaching, and situational leadership according to organizational needs, employee experience, and strategic objectives. Chapter summary: leadership and motivation are fundamental components of successful business administration. Throughout this chapter, we have explored the foundations of leadership, examined major leadership theories and styles, analyzed motivational theories, and demonstrated how leadership is applied within modern organizations. Effective leadership extends beyond authority and management responsibilities. Successful leaders inspire people, communicate a clear vision, encourage innovation, develop employees, and create organizational cultures built upon trust, integrity, and collaboration. They understand that organizational success depends primarily upon people and therefore invest continuously in employee motivation, professional development, and well-being. Motivation remains equally important because motivated employees demonstrate higher productivity, stronger organizational commitment, greater creativity, improved teamwork, and enhanced customer service. Organizations that understand human motivation create working environments where employees feel valued, respected, and inspired to perform at their highest potential. As organizations continue to evolve through technological innovation, artificial intelligence, globalization, and changing workforce expectations, leadership will remain one of the most valuable professional competencies. Future leaders must combine strategic thinking with emotional intelligence, ethical behavior, adaptability, resilience, and continuous learning. Ultimately, leadership is not about controlling people. It is about inspiring individuals to become the very best versions of themselves while working together to achieve shared organizational goals. References notice, and for further readings. Kindly note that all references and further readings cited in this blog have been carefully selected from reputable academic sources and are provided in Harvard referencing style. As this lesson has been recorded for educational purposes, viewers and readers are encouraged to consult the original publications. You can find all the references and further readings at the end of this blog article. About the author, Mary Lourdes Bonnici MBA is committed to promoting excellence in business administration through high-quality educational resources designed to support students, professionals, managers, entrepreneurs, and lifelong learners. Her Business Administration Learning Hub combines academic theory with practical application, providing accessible learning materials supported by Harvard references, real-world examples, audio recordings, and comprehensive study resources. Copyright 2026 Mary Lourdes Bonnici MBA. All rights reserved. This blog and all its contents, including articles, educational materials, images, graphics, videos, recordings, presentations, and original works, are the intellectual property of Mary Lourdes Bonnici and are protected by copyright law. No part of this publication may be reproduced, copied, distributed, published, transmitted, translated, stored in a retrieval system, or used in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, photocopying, recording, or otherwise, without the prior written permission of the author. Thank you.